So today we have two great guests with us talking about a really important issue. For years, I, along with Representative Grace Meng, Councilmember Margaret Chin, Assemblymember Ron Kim, and others, have been pushing for Lunar New Year to be a school holiday. Lunar New Year is the most important cultural celebration in the Asian calendar. Up to 15% of New York City school kids are Asian American, and for years we couldn't get the former mayor to consider this, and now we've worked with our current mayor, Bill de Blasio, to make Lunar New Year a school holiday. Why is this so important? Well, I have two guests to talk about it. One, Jenny Lo, chair of the board of the Chinese American Planning Council. The other, Matthew Lo, her 13-year-old son, New York City public school student since kindergarten. Is that right, Matthew?
Since pre-K, actually.
Since pre-K?
Yes.
Pre-K before universal pre-K?
Yeah.
So where did you go to elementary school?
I went to elementary school at PS 130 in Lower Manhattan.
Okay, and obviously Lunar New Year occurred during that time. Would you go to school on Lunar New Year when you were in elementary school?
Sometimes I would, but towards the end of elementary school, I stayed in the school to maintain my attendance record to apply for middle school.
So let me ask, when you would go to school on Lunar New Year, PS 130, and where is PS 130, by the way?
PS 130 is down in Chinatown, on Hester and Baxter Street.
Okay, so when you would go, were there a lot of other kids there?
When I would go, nobody came, not even the teachers.
So it was, you would say, a wasted day?
It was pretty much a wasted day. The only thing we did that was productive was educating our subs on what Chinese New Year or what Lunar New Year was.
And would it mean that you would miss the celebration with your family?
Yes, I would, and I just kind of despise that because, you know, spending your time with your family and having a lot of fun, you know, you get to know them more, you get to bond with them.
And we're going to talk about that in a second. We want to talk about what we eat on Lunar New Year, but
Ooh.
I'll go to your mother. And you also went to New York City public schools.
Yes, I did.
And I guess in those days, the push for Lunar New Year as a school holiday really hadn't started.
No, it hadn't. We just took a day of absence being in school, but celebrating Lunar New Year was very important to us.
And as someone who was raised in New York City, came here as a young child, and now is raising your child here, what does it mean for you for Lunar New Year to now be recognized in the school calendar?
Oh, it's huge. And for years, as a student, we couldn't understand why we don't have our holiday off. And so it was very difficult to understand. But now as I grew up and became active in our community, I realized that it's just about recognition, and about voicing your concern, and working with elected officials like yourself and the other members of our community. We feel that there's hope, and that's why we've been voicing our concern about having this holiday as a legitimate school holiday for our kids. And it's a huge thing, and we really, really appreciate what you and Assemblymember Ron Kim have done at the state level to help get this holiday for us, for all of us.
Oh, we weren't going to let it not happen, and we pushed like crazy. So let me ask that choice when Matthew's growing up, being with the family for this incredibly important celebration and missing school. I know you certainly pushed Matthew to do well in school, so what was that choice like?
Well, it was tough. It was very tough in that, you know, I knew what it was like when I celebrated Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, and I knew it from the way we celebrate in China and the way I celebrated when I was a kid. And now, with pressure of school attendance being important, having that excused absence means something on the school record, I was torn. And the years I say, he has to go, and there are years I said, no, he's not going. So it was just difficult. It was a difficult choice.
Why do you think it was such a hard push?
It was a hard push because many of us are tired of not being recognized. I mean, this is a major holiday that we are celebrating, and now we celebrate lots and lots of culture in the city. And it's a great thing because that's how we can learn from each other. And then not having our holiday recognized, it was just not right. It just doesn't feel right to us.
And especially when you're talking about a school that's mostly absent, you would go so you wouldn't have an absence, and you would basically be talking about Lunar New Year even there while missing the holiday.
Yeah.
Quickly, favorite Lunar New Year, favorite thing to eat on Lunar New Year?
Favorite thing to eat on Lunar New Year, probably the fish. The fish, you know, it represents wealth and luck for the new year.
I personally, I like the sweeter stuff. I like the roast pork bun quite a bit, the hargao, which is the shrimp dumpling, and you?
My favorite food is the sweet soup dumplings that at the end of the dinner, we mix it with sesame, and it's really sweet, and that means the family being together for the new year, and it tastes great, but it also has a lot of meaning to it.
Sounds delicious. And your plan for this coming Lunar New Year?
I will get up and celebrate with my family and just hang out.
Excellent. And you?
Well, we'll be taking a day off from work. I don't have a work holiday, but we'll definitely be able to celebrate for real and not worry about Matthew missing school.
One step at a time, and the whole city will be celebrating. That's part of what's so important. This is, at this point, about who we are as a city. As our city changes, our school calendar should change with it. Growing up, I celebrate Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as I still do. And to know that that's part of the calendar really does mean something. Thank you very much. I look forward to eating much too much with you on Lunar New Year and beyond. Thanks again.
Thank you,
you.
Senator.